Good morning, everyone, and a warm welcome to another edition of my morning mantras. It's a brilliant, summer morning, 38 degrees at 8:16 in Dubai, lovely Dubai. So, once some other subscribers joined into this channel, and one of them said, "Remove your glasses and ensure you do landscape." So here it is, no more glasses and landscape mode. So remember I was in my last, in one of my last, kind of mantras sessions. I was talking about this whole creative destruction, and for some reason I can't get my eyes off the retail industry, right? So just sharing a bit, why creative destruction in retail right now kind of makes a lot of sense to me. So at the heart of this, at the center of the circle, of course, is the apocalypse of retail, right? I mean, you just need to go Google this. It's not a word I have invented, but as soon as you put this in, you will understand what I'm trying to say there, which is all the brands that we knew, right? Toys R Us, JC Penney, there are scores and scores of them. I think in the US during 2020, of course, also due to COVID, 20,000 such stores closed down, right? After I think 10,000 had closed down the previous year, right? So 2019, right? So it's a clear trend, a clear creative destruction happening at the core of retail, right? So what has been the various responses is what is quite fascinating, right? So the incumbents, of course, have responded. Of course, I mean, what is the big A word out there which is causing all of this is, of course, Amazon, right? At the heart of the apocalypse is Amazon, yeah, and what they did to the retail industry, and then similarly Alibaba and others that followed. Yeah? So how are the incumbents responding? I mean, first is, as I said, in the banking world, it's a clear pattern, right? So you get authentic digital transformation. If you are an incumbent, you get authentic, proper digital transformation en route, and you have a chance to competing with this, what's happening at the center of disruption, right? And that's, for example, in the retail world, a classic example is Walmart. Brilliant. I interviewed a few of the Walmart guys a while back, for when we were looking for some head of data. So real good talent, and it is currently, it went and acquired a e-commerce company, and currently it's top 3. I think it's the third top downloaded app, on either US or the world. But anyway, Walmart, right? So the incumbents' response through authentic digital transformation, building capabilities, getting into proper e-commerce, building digital products, and competing, right? So that's one. Second is, this whole micro niches which came up. They are called DNVBs, right? So digital native vertical brands. So what they do is they say, okay, Amazon, you are like a supermarket, but I'm like a store, digital store. So I'll operate in a particular niche. I will only sell lenses or spectacles or glasses or cosmetics or whatever. So there are scores of these around the world, right? Even in Dubai, UAE, worldwide, people have taken a micro sliver of retail and said, that's what I'll compete in, and they're doing decently well. Of course, they will not become as large as these digital natives, but still, they're competing, they're making good money. The founders are probably having a good life, right? So that's another way of competing, right? I mean, the third pattern that I've seen, which is what do you do with brick and mortar companies, right? So you have all these asset heavy shops, what do you do with those then, right? And I think what's going on there is quite interesting. I mean, I'm part of this startup ecosystem in India, and there are scores of shops and brick and mortar shops, right? So one big, what's going on there is one big trend is this whole experience economy, right? So you don't go to a mall now just to buy stuff, but you go there to experience. And I was listening to a panel a while back during COVID, when we were working out of home one late evening, and there was a guy there from a experience shop that he had created, the founder, which is called, I think if I remember correctly, the Museum of Ice Cream, right, out of New York. So have a look. I mean, people are creating this wonderful experiences within the brick and mortar environment. So the third pattern is that if you are a brick and mortar shop, start thinking experiences, and perhaps a merger of digital and brick and mortar as well, right? So I know a startup in India for these smaller shops, because one of the issues with the smaller shops is they don't have enough SKUs. And while there is this tyranny of optionality, as people say, but in general people want choice, right? When it comes to shopping, they want to look at multiple things and then make a call, right? So I think that's, for example, this startup then works with smaller shops and not only automates their overall processes, but also is able to augment their SKUs by assimilating SKUs under their brand name, right? So if you're a small shop they are called Kirana shops, suddenly you have a huge number of SKUs which can be delivered digitally, right? And serviced digitally, right? So bricks and mortars are responding through these kind of modes, right? Which is experience commerce and digital and physical shops kind of merging together, right? And then on the edges, I mean, there is this whole lot of other disruption, right? So while at the core Amazon built brand.com, there is a lot of other people vying for e-commerce, as you know. So social commerce is big, right? Commerce through WeChat, commerce through Facebook. Now all these social kind of channels, behemoths are also monetizing for creators. So if you're a creator on Twitter today, you can go and request you can get your kind of influence monetized, right? Or you can get paid, almost like people paying you for your tweets and your knowledge, right? So social commerce is one big thing. The other day I was looking at something quite interesting, and celebrity commerce, right? So especially during COVID with some of the entertainment industry taking a hit, the celebrities monetizing their time, right? So if you want a product to be sold, 10 minutes of a celebrity's video or 3 minutes of a video on mobile, using your iPhone. So that kind of at the edges, that's the other kind of retail related stuff, disruption that's going on, right? So of course, it's amazing, right? At the core there's an apocalypse. At surrounding it, there are so many things going on. While in the banking industry, I had a fairly good feel that it will dissipate into these different industries. I wonder what will happen to the retail industry after this creative destruction phase kind of dissipates, and what clarity will emerge, what business models will remain. What? I have no freaking idea, right? I don't know. I have no clue. But hey, maybe you guys have a clue. Maybe research this. After all of this disruption kind of settles down, what would be the predominant patterns? Where will all of retail stabilize on? Right? So think about that. Research. Be curious. Have intrigue, and enjoy the rest of your day. Cheerio. Bye bye.